And appreciate you hitting the button. Welcome to the How to Hustle podcast with Hank. You find me on Instagram and Twitter at I am Hank. That's HYMPE. It's Hank. It's not hype. I'm not geeked up. This is episode 27. Oh, this is going to be a big one. I've been working on this one since I started the motherfucking podcast. But, we got to go through the rundown. Every time we come back, we got new shit for you. Shouts out to Dallas, Texas, the Kickback app. You find me on the Kickback app. That is at 8 Eastern. 8 Central and Central. Slow down, Hank. 8 o'clock Central Standard Time, AM and PM. AM and PM. I can catch you going to work or coming home. WTNUphilly.com, Thursdays, 12:30. I Say Radio Podcast Network, Fridays at 10 o'clock. And GFT Radio Network, Tuesdays at 2. Now, full fucking house tonight. We're going to talk a little bit about this marriage situation, but introduce yourself to the audience before we do, y'all. Ladies first.
All right. Hi, everyone. My name is Tasha, wife of Mr. Top Dog Groomers here in Philly.
Okay. I'm Leise Winny. I am the host of Millennials Anonymous and the owner of Maps Media. And I am married to he doesn't own anything like as far as a business, but he does have a job. Okay. So I am yeah, so I've been married. Well, married for a long time, but been with him for 17 years.
Big Dan from the BTG Podcast. Follow us on all streaming platforms at BTG Podcast 215, straight out of Philly.
All right, so the topic that we're going to do here, y'all, shout out to Dan at least, though. These is second appearances by both of these individuals right here. You know what I'm saying? Tosh is locked in every week. The reason why everybody's on here is because we all married. And the topic that we're going to tackle today is, how does marriage work? I'm going to do a two-part. We're going to do how does marriage work, and we're going to do why does marriage not work. But, we're going to be positive before we get negative. So this one's probably going to go a little bit longer than 30. We probably hit 35, 38. We're going to get crazy today on How to Hustle Podcast, right? So we're going to start this one off. We're going to start this one off with you, Leise. Why does it work? Well, it's kind of a why and a how, but
Okay, all right.
And stay how long y'all been married before y'all give y'all answers. My bad. Go ahead. You got the floor.
Okay, all right. So I've been married for 10 with the same person for 17. I can't really say why marriage works because it's different for everybody. I can't really speak for everybody else's. I can just kind of speak on my own experience about why it works. I think it works because you have to know when to let stuff go and when to forgive. The communication is key, but really bigger than anything, it's really learning and knowing when to let stuff go. Stop. You can't hold on to things for 15 years. Like, oh, at that time he left that toilet seat up back in 2003. Like that's you gonna cause problems. So knowing when to voice your opinions, knowing when to let them know, oh, this is you cannot cross this line. This is a boundary of mine. Setting those boundaries, even with your spouse, and letting them know if you cross this boundary, that's it. I'm done. And for me, I think that's why my relationship has been successful for so long, is because we have those communications with one another and we laugh a lot. Like I'm a jokester, he's a jokester, and having that fun, loving relationship is what keeps it easy breezy, beautiful. It's not easy. Let me stop. Let me pause.
Damn sure ain't easy. Let's not cap here.
I'm lying. That's why it works. I just put it right there. That's why it works.
Dan.
Why marriage works. All right, well, I've been with my wife for 15 years, been married for 7 this past week. Like she said,
anniversary, brother.
Appreciate it. Like she said, it's different for everybody. In my opinion, the reason why our marriage works, we were friends first. You know what I'm saying? I met her in 9th grade. She was one of my best friends back in the day. We didn't link up until we was in our late 20s, whatever. You know what I mean? So that's that. If you friends first, she know you. You know what I mean? Like she said, me and my wife, we joke, we laugh, everything. Communication is a very big thing, though. If there's no communication, the marriage is going to be in shambles. You know what I'm saying? Like, you definitely have to communicate with your spouse. Also, like she said, you can't go to bed mad. You can't go to bed mad. If something happens and you got to tackle it while it's fresh, don't let it sit there and linger, because what's going to happen is you're gonna start thinking about all the other things. You're gonna be mad about something that they did 10 years ago when y'all first got together. You know what I mean? So communication, be friends, and the respect gotta be there. You know what I mean?
Tosh, how long y'all been
Um,
together and all that first?
We've been together for about 14, going on 15 years. We've been married for 11. This is actually going to be our 12th year married. How was our relationship last? I'm gonna agree with both of them. It's communication, honestly. I think when we first got together, it was just a mutual respect for each other. Always got to have respect. And then communication. We weren't always the best of it. Like I would be able to verbalize it, but I would not be able to listen. I couldn't hear him. I had to get my point across. And he was vice versa. So learning how to communicate, respecting each other, I think that's like the foundation, to be honest with you. Everything after that, I mean, you could work through.
All right, like y'all was saying, try to have a lot of laughs and shit. I'm funny. My wife is not. Love you, baby, but you're just not funny. 15 years seems to be the number that we got here. We was talking, you know what I'm saying? We've been talking for 15 years. We've been married for 5. Something Dan
Y'all been
touched on
talking.
is we was talking. We had a long conversation. I used to like to call it training camp. Everybody can't make the team. You have a large roster in training camp, but you got to weed that thing down. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But yeah, like you said, you gotta be your foundation has to be a respect level for each other, like Tasha said, and like Dan was saying, the friend situation. She was like legit my best friend before we even took it there. Like, because I would say that because it was like if I had a situation, I know I can depend on her. I know I can call her and she gonna be there. No, if I call a couple of my homies that you knew since forever and done everything with, nigga gonna yeah, you know, my son, my daughter, all that, she's just not going to have no excuses. She was going to come through. Now, once you get into how and why it works when you find somebody that you're willing to sacrifice yourself for. Once you say like, it's not all about me. I don't have to say everything that I want to say. I don't have to get all of my opinions out. Like once you meet somebody that makes you want to shut the fuck up and hey, take it to OLF and put your shoulders down for. Once you get somebody that makes you say like, all right, yeah, I got to go about this a whole different way because I care about and love them enough to want to look at it a different way. So that's how I would, answer the question. Now this is something else I want to know from y'all. It always is not cheating. Like, let's just throw that out now. So before we even answer this question, it's always not about cheating. When y'all had that rough patch in your marriage, though, where something became a problem or issue, what did y'all go to get over that problem or issue? We're gonna send that one to Dan first.
Well, the issue that we had before it
You ain't
wasn't
got to get
cheating, it
into all your
was
personal. Yeah, you ain't got to get into all
no,
your
no,
personal.
no, no, no. I know. I'm just put some context with it. We talked about it on episode that we just did. I had PTSD from a previous relationship. Like I was in a toxic relationship for 7 years prior to my wife, and so a lot of that carried over into the new relationship. You know what I'm saying? Like when we used to argue, for me it was go for the throat. You know what I'm saying? Like I gotta say the worst shit possible to make her feel bad, And I had to, this is before we got married, this when we was still, in the dating stage or whatever. But once I got over that, I had to realize like I can treat this new relationship like the old one because it wasn't the same person. And she wasn't giving me the same, but I was so used to just going for the throat every time. Like, I'm taking your head off every time we get into an argument. I'm gonna say the nastiest shit to you that I can. You know what I mean? As we move forward and I realized like I'm fucked up. Like I realized that I was the problem. I had to, stop doing all that shit and just relax for a minute and had that conversation with her. Like, look, I was going to shit with an old girl before you. Like, this is what I'm used to, and I gotta, work through that. You know what I mean? So she got me into church, all that stuff. We went past her and did all that, and it helped. So sometimes you got to sit down and get a mediator, and couple problems. Sometimes you can't work it
All right,
out.
hold up, Dan. Your audio is killing me here. Ride into a better situation, and we'll come back to you. Leise, go ahead, jump in on that one. Sorry about the audio, y'all. But you
Oh,
know,
it's
ain't
no
no
problem.
editing here at the How to Hustle podcast, right?
It's it's perfectly fine. For me, when we went through our rough, I would say it was more so in the beginning. And the reason why is because we were so young. So when you get together so young and you start having children so fast, you don't know you. So it's very hard for me to tell you exactly what I want from you. And I don't even know me. I don't know what I want, let alone asking what I want from you. And so that was part of the problem in our relationship. And so it took some time in maturing in order to be able to have those conversations about, look, this isn't working. Like, we are going to have to sit down and have a one-to-one. These are my, when I talk about boundaries, this is what I'm talking about. These are my boundaries. You cannot cross these boundaries. If you cross these boundaries, it's not going to work. At the time, because we were so young and we didn't have like a shit ton of money, so we wasn't going to a therapist. But now, if we have problems, we will sit down with a counselor, like a marriage therapy counselor. I think that helps. Like he said, having a mediator, somebody that, because we all want to be the victim. We all want to be the, oh, I'm right. And so having somebody else actually be able to sit down, like, wait a minute, pump your brakes. Now, like, that helps a lot. But in the beginning, it was really just having that conversation and communications and putting your feelings, your hurt feelings away. Because in a relationship, you are going to have to showcase your feelings. You don't want to hide them, but you have to understand that you're dealing with two people. So you have to hear them out just like you want them to hear you out. And so that's what helped us get through the rough patches in the beginning of our relationship.
Tosh.
Our rough patch. Our rough patch actually came. So we have a blended family. There now is seven. There's 7 kids total. When we got together, he had 3 boys. I had 2 girls. The hardest part for us was the blended family, and it wasn't necessarily the kids. It's everybody else. You know, like, everybody wants to have a say. Um, Everybody felt like they was entitled to have a say on how we ran our house, or, you know, what our schedule was like, or whatever. But I think for us, it was just buckling down and realizing it's me and you. Like, at the end of the day, it's me and you. This is our family. These, when they're here, these are our kids. This is how we run our home. As long as we have an understanding, we have each other's back, and we are obviously not doing anything that's disrespectful or anything like that. But as long as we have each other's back and we're communicating with each other, then we're going to be good. But once you start letting outside people in, or shoot, sometimes even the kids, sometimes the kids felt like they, you know, they were used to it being a certain way before, and the adjustment was hard. You know, they felt like they had to voice their opinion. And, you know, sometimes we didn't agree with it. And learning how to, for him, learning how to deal with and talk to and approach my daughters, and me learning how to deal with and approach his sons, it was a learning curve. But just us being respectful of each other. What else? Just making sure that we have each other back. As long as we have each other back, we knew we was going to be good. And communicating. We had to communicate. And like I said, that was the hardest part for us. Humbling myself, my attitude sometimes is I got this, I can take care of it, you know, the real independent, strong woman. And then, you know, he's a man, and he'll shut down. Like, okay, you don't need me, you don't want me, that type thing. So we had to learn how to communicate between each other. We had to learn how to communicate with our kids, each other's kids. But that was the hardest part. Once we got over that, it wasn't easy breezy, but much better, much better.
But she jarred my memory real quick on something. She made a really good point. Another thing, when we were going through our rough patch, we didn't include anybody else in our problems but us. So I didn't put that on. I mean, social media wasn't really a thing at that time, that big like that, but we didn't put it on social media. I didn't call my friends. I didn't call my sisters. We worked through it in our relationship, in our home.
You had to. And that's really honestly the only way to keep it sane, at least for females, you know, because you think you might have a girlfriend that you knew your whole life. Her situation might not be like yours. Her
So
husband
y'all
is
just
not
stepped
like
on the
yours.
y'all
You
just stepped
know?
all over the next transition. Thanks, ladies.
Sorry. Sorry, that was a conversation. I'm sorry.
Um, uh, I would say, like Lee said, our rough patch came in the beginning because it was just like the financials, like you said. It was like, man, this shit ain't coming how I thought. And now once you marry this person, it's like, these is my responsibilities. I got to find a way to make a way for us. Like, it's easy to get myself through the week, but now when you got to drag 2 other people, 3 other people, it's like,
Yeah.
man, this is a little bit more difficult. And the thing about once you get married is like, she ain't never leaving. He ain't never going back to his crib or nothing. It's
Mhm.
like, so you gonna be here every Thursday and Wednesday. Like, sometimes you just need that little bit to get away, just to all right, I can get myself back together. And you realize once you get married that shit ain't happening. So this is like one of them things, like I said this when we was before we start recording. Tosh is one of the people who I call all the time about, hey Tosh, I need to bounce this off of you, or this scenario, or you don't give, like you were saying, that's where I was going to go next. Like, you don't give people your business. You don't say, look, we was arguing about this motherfucker said this, that. You don't do that. You just say, yo, how do you handle, what do you think about, and throw a scenario out there and try to come up with a way to handle that problem. But it's all about compromise and communication. Like, that's how we ended up getting through that really rough patch, was compromise and communication. Dan, go ahead, because your audio was terrible when you was going in earlier, brother.
Oh man, how it sound now? Everything good? It's better
Here you
now.
go, you good.
Yeah, I drove around the corner. I had to get into a better location. My fault. Yeah, no, I was saying like our rough patch was in the beginning with, you know, I came from a toxic relationship. You know what I'm saying? Like me and my ex, we used to go at it. Like, you know, never nothing physical, just all verbal shit. Like, it was just very, very, very bad. You know what I mean? Like, and we would go for the throat with everything. You know what I mean? Everything was a kill shot. And that basically moved on into my next relationship with my wife. You know what I'm saying? And I had to learn that I can't come at her like that. You know what I'm saying? We can't be having a fucking boxing match every night. I mean, about some dumb shit, you know. And it took for us to actually have a mediator and sit down with her pastor and all that, and, you know, have somebody come in to help us. God basically got our way through that. You know what I mean? Like, and also, like Tasha was saying, my wife's name is Tasha too. That's what was throwing me off. But you can't. We have a blended family as well. My oldest daughter is from my previous relationship. You know what I'm saying? Her and my wife, that shit was like a gang war at one point. And it was like, I mean, we,
Uh-oh.
if you take me, you got to take her. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a package deal. So it was a while before we got all that. And even still to this day, my daughter be 16. You know, they had a little back and forth now, but, you know, that's just, you know, that's women stuff. I don't get involved in that now. You know, they got a great relationship now. But and like you also, like you said, you can't let people in your business. You know what I mean? What happens in the house, that's between me and you. That's at the house. We can't. You let other people into your business. You think people got your best, you know, your best interest at heart. Low key, they be hating on you. Low key, they be hating on your relationship. You know what I mean? Because they ain't got. They jealous of what you got at home. You know what I mean? So you got to keep people out of your relationship and out of your business, because that'll be your downfall. You know what I mean?
All right, so now all 3 of the guests have all jumped in on the transition of the next joint. It was going to
Oh
be the
shit.
piece of advice that you would give, you know what I'm saying, somebody that's married, and obviously it is keep niggas out your business. I got
That's
married
number
2 seconds
one.
after I
That
got
should be
married.
number one.
2 seconds after I got married, my cousin grabbed me and told me, keep niggas out your business. Niggas includes everybody, and stepped off on me.
Yeah.
Something that Lise said that I wanted to jump back into, and I want to ask you about, because you said y'all got married so young and had kids so young. Did you recognize at that time that I can't ask him to be this, that, or whatever, because I'm not even sure what it is that I wanted. I'm not even sure what it is that I need out of you. Was that something that you recognized, or was that something in hindsight that you picked up on? Because it's like one of those things I always try to do is like you said, something that you also said, Lise, was like everybody's the victim in their story. The other person is always completely wrong. So I always
Mhm.
try to look at it from her side too. And it's like, what is she hearing when I'm saying this? Because that's something that I got from Tosh. Go ahead, Lise.
Yeah, no, it was definitely because when I was in it, when I was young, hell no. Like I was like, oh no, I couldn't verbalize it myself. So no, I didn't realize I was asking him for something that I didn't even know that I wanted because I didn't know what I needed. I didn't know who I was. So in hindsight, yes. And as I aged, I realized that I was asking something of you that you couldn't even do. I was asking you to be a 37-year-old man at 18. Like that's unrealistic. And no
Damn, y'all
way
got married that young?
could you
Woo,
had,
y'all are some
Straight to the
gangsters.
league. Out
What?
of high school, straight to the league.
Okay, LeBron and Kate, y'all LeBron and Kobe down there, huh?
Straight to the league. 18.
No,
Ooh,
we were together at 18. No, we got married when I was like 20, 23.
Oh, all right.
that's
Well,
still
hey,
straight
shit.
to the
That's
league.
yeah.
That's
I'm about
still
to say
young.
it's still young. I had a lot of play with me at 23.
You still got some years in there though.
You was
But
only able to buy a bottle of liquor for 2 years.
but yeah, we start because when you start off a relationship and a marriage, and the first thing you're doing is you getting married because you got a baby, it's gonna
Yeah.
cause problems. So I couldn't verbalize that at the time. So yes, looking back at it and growing as I grew older, I realized, yeah, that's why we were struggling so much. Yeah, that's why we was arguing, because I'm asking something of you that you couldn't give me, and it was unfair for me to ask of you of that back then, but I know now, and we've grown from it. But like when it comes to, like you were saying, not telling people, it's not even just the jealousy part of it, it's the once y'all get back, because this, I tell my friends this all the time, do not tell me your business, because once y'all get back together, I'm gonna be looking at him with the side eye. Don't tell me.
Exactly.
Don't
Your
tell me.
problems become your problems will get weaponized against you when you tell people about your situations. They now turn that time that she said this, that, or whatever is what your guy friends will do. Oh, you talking about the same bitch that did this? The girls will go, oh, you mean that same nut ass nigga who did this? Like your problems get
Exactly.
weaponized against you, which is why you don't let people inside that. Can't let nobody into that. It's just y'all at the end of the day. Nothing wrong with getting a little help. Like you said, you get somebody to talk to and all of that. That's perfectly fine. But you don't go in and say, look, this is the problem with this mother. Like, you can't go there with it.
No, because most of the time when you do, you looking for your friends to validate
Validate what you're
you.
saying. Yeah, because
So
you're
they're not
always the
gonna
victim.
give
Yeah.
right. They're not gonna give you like the real deal. Like, no, girl, you was out of pocket. Like, they're not gonna say that. Some people will, but most people are gonna try to be like, yeah, you right, girl. He trash. He's nothing. Da 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 da. Because women can be toxic too. It's just, it goes both ways, and sometimes, especially when we're describing what's going on, it's like, no, it's all on the dude. When women can be toxic too, women can be aggressive too, women can be violent too, like it goes both ways. So that's why I say, if you are going through something in your relationship, if I can give anybody any advice, don't take advice from nobody. I tell people on my show this all the time, because like Tasha said, just because your relationship is similar does not mean it is the same, because the person that you are dealing with grew up in a whole different lifestyle, which means their perception on life is different. So the way that they talk to their spouse may be completely different than the way you talk to yours. That's how it is when you have kids. You can have 5 kids and you have to raise them and treat them all differently because they're different people. So don't take advice from people.
That's one of them things. I talked to somebody about this the other day that was saying that their dad had passed. And I said, I know what you're going through, but I understand what you're going through, but I don't know what you're personally going through, because the relationship that y'all had is not the same as the relationship that me and my dad had. Now, that goes for any relationship. Like me and Dan's relationship wouldn't be the same as Dan and somebody he went to school with. It's like the situations are just totally different. Like, so you can't always, try to equate those things. And like Dan said, shit, he came into his relationship being toxic because of the toxicity that he came from. But he
Yeah.
had to recognize and get a little help with his toxicity.
I had to realize that was the problem.
And shout out to the BTG podcast a couple of weeks ago. That was something that they tackled into. Sometimes you're the problem. You have to recognize that.
I say it to my
All right.
guys all the time. At some point, you really got to look at yourself and say, damn, like, maybe it ain't always just her. Maybe you might be the problem, bro. Like, you know, if every time y'all beefing and everything, and every time is you always pointing the finger at her, sometimes you really got to sit and look at yourself in the mirror like, damn, nah, maybe I'm the one that's fucking shit up. Maybe I got to change shit around. And once you do that, that's what I had to do, man. Like luckily at the time I had a good group of dudes around me, I'm saying, that was all in long-term relationships. And I got homies that'll tell me, nah, dog, you tripping. Like, you drunk, like you tripping. Nah, she a good one. You out here flipping over dumb shit. And it's like, damn, maybe you're right. I had to sit back and look at myself, and if you really want to make this marriage thing work, sometimes you got to adjust how you handle things and realize that maybe you is the problem.
That's why you always do need to go to other people, though. Like I said, I go to Tasha all the time because it's not even about giving her all your business or some shit. It's just she's going to say something that's like, well, damn, I didn't even think about it like that. You might
Right.
throw something at Dan and be like, well, damn, I didn't even think about it like that. Like you just having a conversation just doesn't. Sometimes when you tell people like don't put people in your business, that they just think that means flat out never say nothing about nothing. Like, no, you can talk about like different little things that we're all going to go through. It's those major things. It's the things that get weaponized that you don't bring those up. Those stay internal. You take them to.
I feel like you gotta know who you can talk to, though. Also, you can't just bring up certain things with everybody. You gotta know the person to make sure that they got your best interest at heart. Well, not even your best interest at heart, the
Y'all
relationship.
best interest.
Yeah,
Yeah.
y'all best interest at heart. Because like you said, you gonna have that person that's the person you talk to. They might be catering to you. They gonna tell you what you want to hear. Oh, nah, yeah, she fucked up, dog. That's fucked up. I can't believe that. Like, I used to talk to my sister a lot, but I had to realize my sister, she biased. She gonna ride with me regardless. You know what I'm saying? So, you got to get some people that's make sure that they for y'all, and it ain't just about you. You know what I'm saying? They just ain't going. You ain't got a yes man around you or a yes woman around you that's just gonna tell you what you want to hear.
Let me make sure, since I was the one that said it, I'm not saying that you shouldn't talk to people. If you feel in some kind of way, go talk to somebody.
Right.
What I mean by when I say don't take advice from people, you can listen to what people are telling you, but just know that just because you are applying their advice doesn't mean it's going to work or that you should do it. Just listen to what they're saying, but you do not have to do what they are saying. So that's what I'm saying. So if you feel in some kind of way, go please talk to people.
This is another one, man. Shout out to my man Reek. I know Reek listening. Reek always say you got to know your personnel. So like Dan is saying, you can talk to people. Like Lisa's saying, you can talk to people. It just has to be the right person. You can't just go talking to like me and my cousin. This is my best man, and he ain't married, so he don't understand these situations. I cannot talk to him about this. Can't even bring this shit up to him. All right, now this is another one. This one's going to be a little difficult. So Tosh, we're going to you first. Describe your mate in 5 words or less. You can make those 5 individual words. You can make them 5 that go together. However you like to do that.
Okay. He's loyal. He's honest. He's trustworthy. He's strong. And I don't want to say sweet, but I'll say compassionate.
I was about to say, you better I call my man sweet.
I'm not.
Go ahead, Dan.
You
Look like you're struggling with that one. That's why you go right to him. Go ahead.
Supportive, amazing, strong, man. My everything, dog. Like, it's like I can write a book about that girl, man. Like, bruh, like it. I would be a different, like, dog. Let me explain something to you, dog. I didn't even have a bank account before I started messing with my wife. Like, I was out here doing dumb shit, dog. Like, when I say complete 360, like, she really made a brother switch things around, man. So supportive, amazing, strong, independent, loving, caring. I know that's more than 5, like, but
go ahead, brother. I mean, ain't gonna step on you. You want to go ahead, write a book about her. Make sure she's subscribed.
I gotta make sure I send the link to her when this one come out.
Hey, copy that. You know saying 5? We only accept 5 stars, not 4. That's at How to Hustle Podcast with Hype on all streaming platforms.
No doubt.
Go ahead, Lise.
He's hardworking, determined, supportive, compassionate, and handsome.
Lease steps right on me because I was going there first. Beautiful, caring, great mom, and that's my ride or die.
She's funny too.
What'd you say? She's not funny.
Yes, she is.
I love her to death. She is not funny.
We hating on my girl.
All right, now before we wrap it up, again, try to. It's not all bad with us in the Black community. Here we are, four individuals with about 60 years of marital experience here or relationships, about 70 years of relationships here. So, round of applause for us for that one, first of all. Before we do wrap up the episode, because like I said, I had this one on the table since before I dropped the first one, but I had to make sure that I got the right people to talk about the episode. I mean, to talk about this topic. I didn't want, I kind of did want somebody with a fresh perspective so we could kind of hook them up with this is the cheat code that you need with your little 2 years or your little 8 months. You know what I'm saying? But it didn't work out that way. But we tackle this again. And yeah, before we wrap this up, thank y'all for all coming on. Let everybody throw out the handles, and we're gonna talk about what you got going on with your own personal situation before we wrap it up. Lease, we're gonna start with you.
Okay, so you can follow me at Millennials. You got to put a Z on it, Anonymous, on Instagram and on Facebook and Twitter if you want to be on Twitter. I don't get on Twitter that much. And you can also find us under the Maps Media or Maps Media on YouTube to watch our videos. Or if you want to just go to our website, it's linked to all of that. You can just go to www.millennials with a Z on it.us, and it'll give you all the information you need. Am I telling what I got going on, or that's later?
I mean, no, you go ahead. You got the floor right now, girl.
Okay.
Make the most of it.
All right, so we have the Pod Fest, Your Voice is Your Key Pod Fest coming up on September the 26th. We are going to have my man who was just on there. He is an entertainment attorney, so he's telling you about if you have a podcast, he's telling you how to protect yourself so you don't get yourself legally in trouble, because a lot of people don't realize this is a business. And then we talked to a couple of other people about marketing. We talked to the CEO of Poddit. Like we got some really good people out there giving you some great information. And then of course, Millennials Anonymous podcast drops every single Monday with a brand new episode. So make sure you tune in.
Dan.
Hey man, you already know Bridging the Gap podcast. There is no G in bridging. You can find us on all major streaming platforms. At BTG Podcast 215 on all social medias. And, like I told you last time I spoke to you, what we got coming up, live shows, man. Starting these live shows this year. We're going to try and bang out at least one a month, start out small, work our way up, and, just keep on building, brother, get that audience up. And coming soon to GFT Radio, you know what I'm saying? We moving. I mean, shout out to X Squad affiliates also, too, we out in Atlanta, too, on that platform as well. So, we everywhere. We moving around.
Copy that. Tosh.
All right, so I don't have like a personal handle, but you can follow our business page, Top Dog Groomers. That's Top DAWG, like dog groomers here in Philly. My son also has a clothing line, Royal Wear Apparel. Young kings out here, he's trying to change basically how our young men dress for success. So that's Royal Wear Apparel. Yeah, that's it.
As soon as you said I ain't got nothing going on, I was gonna text you. What the you mean? You don't throw nephew shit out there?
I personally don't. I be helping the family run their business.
Family business,
trying
bro.
to
That's
get the
y'all.
kids together.
This the whole conversation that we're having. This is the whole conversation that we're having here is about this is the unit. This is about the us of the situation, not the individualized situations. As y'all know, I always got a million things going on, but like I said, this is episode 27. I appreciate y'all for coming on. You follow me on Instagram and Twitter at I am hype. Every week we got new announcements going on and things going on. Like Dan said, we got these live shows popping. We're gonna get these joints streaming, and you already know I'm in the building.
Yes,
so appreciate y'all coming on. That's episode 27. We are out.